Want to add a frequently asked questions section to your SharePoint site? This trick is going to make this incredibly easy. It requires no third-party web parts, no custom development. It's a really, really simple solution, and I know you're going to love this thing. Let's get started. Let's jump into my SharePoint site and see what I've got built. I have a basic list built out here with just the default title column, a single line of text question column, a multi-line of text answer column, and then a single line of text show more column. This is going to be the structure for our frequently asked questions. Obviously, the question and answer part are right here with question and answer. And then show more is going to give us the ability to have a show more link to show additional text that may be on there or other content you may have in other fields. I'll show you that when we get there. Now, for this example, all we really need are question and answer and show more. The title column is it's already there. You could hide that if you want to. It's not necessarily needed here, but what we need here is just this structure created. Now we're going to create a brand new view to store this custom JSON formatting and present this, transform it really from a basic list to a frequently asked questions with an accordion style interface. For that, we're going to click the down arrow next to all items view. We'll click Save View As, and we'll just call this FAQ. Yeah, we do want it to be a public view because we want people to get to it. We'll click Save. Now we need to add in our custom formatting. For that, we're going to click the down arrow under FAQ and go to Format Current View. Now, I'll show you where all this stuff comes from so that you can copy this straight into your FAQ list as well. But we're going to delete everything in here and then just paste in this code. Once we click Save, we have the first part of this view. We have one more change to make. So after saving that, we'll click the down arrow again. We'll go to Edit Current View this time. And then we want to add grouping. We want to group by the question column. And then in my case, I want all of the accordion things collapsed to start with. So that'll be selected by default on yours as well. But if you wanted yours all expanded to start with, then you can click on expanded. But we'll click on OK and then see what we've got. Now we've actually got an accordion style list here. So that looks very cool. And you'll also see that we have the show more link working here. Now this one's actually not showing up. Let me go back in here and oh, that one's set to no. That's why. So that's what the show more link is going to do. If that's set to a yes, you'll see a show more button there. But we need to see this actually on a page, right? We want to see what this looks like because no one's going to want to go to the list and then see that. So let's go back to the home page. And we'll click Edit. And I'll add in, let's see, let me change this section right here to have, let's change it into 2 columns. And then we'll add a new web part here. It's going to be a list web part because our data is a list. We'll select our FAQ list. And then we will make sure, let's see, we need to change the view. It's getting the views. That's taking quite a while. It is acting up. Let me just save this. I'll refresh the page and then we'll go back into edit mode and edit this again. Okay, there we go. So now we have the views. We want to change the view to the FAQ view that we configured. And now we've got our FAQ, but we're not done yet because we don't need any of this other mess. We don't need the header bar, the command bar, so we'll turn this off and we'll hide the See All button as well. And now we've got a clean looking FAQ. So if we expand these things out and the show more value is set to a no, then it just shows us the answer. Notice it's got a nice little light bulb icon here for the answer. When we do have the show more set to a yes, then we'll have the show more link. And that really just brings up the list interface, the list item view. And since I've got edit permissions, I can actually edit this, but normal users would have just a read-only option here. From here, you could definitely hide other things. You could hide some of these columns, like if we wanted the title to be hidden and we wanted to show more hidden here as well, we could do that. Attachments, we can go back to this list and we can go to the gear icon, go to list settings, advanced settings, and then we can disable attachments. Now you could have these attachments because maybe there's a PDF guide that you want to be attached to that FAQ item. So that could be a good option to use attachments. In this case, I don't have any files I want to attach. So I'm just going to disable all of those attachments and we can refresh this page and let's see how they look now. So if I go to one with a show more button, click on show more, and now it's just the question and answer. So we've cleaned that up a little bit. So there's the basic system, but where do you get this code from? How does it work? What is it? You got questions, right? I've got the answers. So here is where you'll find this solution at. There'll be a link down in the description below so you can jump straight to that. But don't leave yet because there's going to be some things you can customize on here and I'm going to point those out to you. But this solution was created by a user named Anand and you see the view requirements right here. So these are those columns that we needed to set up. Well, the title field was already there, obviously, but those other additional columns, it tells you exactly what those column types need to be. This solution is completely free. It was donated by Anand. It was contributed to the community so that that person could share what cool thing they made. And a lot of other samples exist in here as well. This is a very popular repo for these types of samples and other ones like Power Platform. But you'll also see a screenshot of what this solution will look like. Here at the top, you'll actually see the faq-accordion.json file. This is what we're going to have to click on, and that'll have all the code. Up at the top right, you'll see a copy raw file button. That's what we click on to actually copy this whole thing into our clipboard. So once it's in the clipboard, you just paste it back into that window as you saw me do, and that's how you get that in there. There's a couple things to point out in here. Number one, this is a row formatter, but this is applied to the view. So this is going to format every row of the list. That's how this thing works. That's why all those accordions have the same style, because it's using a row formatter. There's a couple of things that they're doing here as well. They're hiding the column headers. They're hiding the list headers. They're doing some of that stuff, hiding the selection, that little dot on the far left where you could select a list item. They're hiding some of that stuff just to clean the interface up, because that's how an FAQ should look. It should be really simple. It should be very clear what this thing is. Now, if you want to know everything that this is doing, what all of these things mean, what the style attribute means, what the children attribute means, and more importantly, you want to learn how to create these yourself or how to customize things just like this to get this to do more advanced things or just completely different things than what it was intended to be. That's the kind of person I am. But you may be thinking, hey, Steve, I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder. And I get it, but you don't actually even have to be a developer to do this kind of stuff. I actually created an online course to teach you how all this stuff works. If you're interested, I've got a link in the description. It'll really help you out, but let's just keep going through this. And let me point out a couple of other things that are easy little tweaks that you can do without really knowing anything about this. Now, on the FAQ itself, this heading right here that you'll expand out, this is handled right here. The value there is the grouping. This is why we had to group based on the question. It gave us that expand collapse functionality, but it also gives us the ability right here to put in the grouping name, which in this case was question, because we told it to group on question. Now, the rest of the magic kind of happens further down here. That light bulb icon is right here. You can change that to another one that, using the Fluent UI framework. If you look for that and just look for the icons, you'll see a whole list of different names that you can use if you don't want a light bulb icon. Maybe you want a different one. You can change that right here by changing light bulb to something else. Here with this div, which you'll notice by element type div, is where the answer is being spat out onto the screen. So this is how we output the answer to that question. Now, you could add additional things to this. You could add another field if you had another field on that list. There's a lot of options here with what you can tweak this thing to do. And then that show more button is right here at the bottom. You'll see that we were creating a button. The content right here is show more. So that's where the text show more shows up right here. And then we're setting the display property to control whether that button is shown or not. And we're setting it equal to a formula where all we're really doing is looking to see if show more is equal to a yes or if it's not. So if it's a yes, then we show that button. If it's anything other than a yes, then we hide the button. So you could use the value yes or just even a blank value, and that would work just as well as yes or no, because you see exactly right here what this formula is looking for. It's either looking for a yes or anything else. So let me know what you think of this. A lot of people are using custom web parts to do FAQs, and right here we just built one together, and it only took a little bit of this JSON formatting. We didn't have to write code. We didn't have to deploy an application. We didn't have to get an administrator to approve anything. We just used our site owner permissions and were able to do this. Let me know what you think down below. And if you want to see more cool JSON formatting samples just like this, then click or tap the screen and I'll see you over there.